Hi everyone, welcome to the Ordinary Dads podcast, as we like to call it, TODCAST. Today's episode is going to be a weird flex because I have a personal agenda actually, and that is to actually prove that even though you're a dad, or even though you're a stay-home dad, you can still keep fit, you can still be healthy, and you can still look good. And so actually that's why I'm wearing a singlet.
It's nice, yeah.
Weird flex.
Yeah.
So, my name is Josiah Ng, and I'm a stay-home dad and also the host of the TODCAST. With me today, I have Kris Tan. Welcome. Kris, please very quickly just introduce yourself.
Yep. Thanks for the welcome again, because this is my second time in the podcast. My name is Kris. I am 44 years old this year. My scale tells me I'm 39, so I just a little bit of bias, but I believe the skill more than anything. So I have two daughters. They are 9 and 6 this year. And I don't call myself a stay-at-home dad anymore because I just started working recently. So I would say I'm a primary caregiver to two daughters. Yep.
Cool. Which is also why I've invited you for this particular episode, because I heard that you got your personal certification. Correct me if I'm not phrasing it correctly, but your certification in personal training.
Yeah.
So, it's something which I've been very intrigued by, because when you were interacting with us at the Ordinary Dads, you were always giving us, tips and tricks about how to keep healthy. What are some of the things we could do, even though we don't have time, to just keep moving. And so I thought that your views, your wisdom, as well as your training would be something that's very good for many of the dads and the parents out there who are thinking about, okay, I kind of want to keep fit, but at the same time, I don't really have time. I don't really know where to start. So thank you again for coming on this podcast.
Yeah. Mental health is such an important part of me ever since my struggle with depression and things like that. So in my search for better mental health, I actually turned to improve my physical health, because those two things are very closely related together. Right. So 3 years ago, I was very out of shape, even though I was very active for most of my life. So I was very much a cardio monster. So I would do football, I would do running, I would do cycling. But I realized these three things that I do love a lot in my life also tend to cause a lot of injury, like in terms of football. And for running and cycling, they take up a lot of time. So I decided, let's try bodybuilding. So it's less hours needed, and there are effects that I wouldn't get out of cardio. And so 3 years ago, I decided to pick up just bodybuilding. And along the way, I do a lot of extensive research. I do a very data-driven kind of approach when I do my training. So I probably gleaned a lot of knowledge along the way and managed to help to people along the way, like the people in the group. And I realized since I need to find a job soon, because my youngest is turning P1 next year.
Right.
So I can afford more time, and I need to prepare for that. Rather than wait till that point comes, why not I do something about it? So I decided, might as well just go get a certification, and then actually, why not just charge people for what I do? So I marry both something that I do love, and then I can make money out of it. That's why I chose to be a personal trainer.
You mentioned earlier that the reason why you went into bodybuilding and to look into your physical health a little bit more is because it kind of helps you with your mental health as well.
Yep.
For many of the parents out there, and I'm not just saying this exclusively for stay-home dads, what would you say to them when it comes to prioritizing their health? Especially in Singapore, right?
Yeah.
It's so busy. If I'm not a stay-home dad, I'm so busy at work. If I'm a stay-home dad, I'm so busy with the kids and housework.
Yeah.
So where got time to go and do health stuff?
Yeah.
But why is it still so important?
Sure. I would say working out, getting healthy, exercising has to be a priority first until it no longer needs to be one. So let me explain. So the things like the things we do daily in terms of like brushing our teeth daily, at night, washing our hands before our meals, even things like drinking water, we do it out of habit and routine, you see. So working out is very much like it as well. So we have to be very intentional in making it a priority until it no longer becomes one, it becomes a habit and part of our routine.
Wow.
and we have to understand why we are doing it, right? So the thing is, for example, skeletal muscle mass, which means the muscles that are surrounding your bones, those that you can voluntarily control, are the markers of many things in our life. For example, we have strength. It affects our metabolism. It affects our insulin sensitivity, the way we age, injury prevention, and a lot of other stuff. But unfortunately, once past the age of 30, our muscle actually starts to decline.
Past the age of what?
30.
30.
Yeah. You're counting the years back already.
That means I already started already.
Yeah. But you've been active, so I guess you'll be slowing down. So we lose at a rate about 3 to 8% every decade.
Okay.
Every decade. So decade sounds really long, but you can imagine it accumulates over time if you are sedentary, which means you don't do much exercising or moving about. Okay. So, and the rate sort of increases as the years go by. So we're talking this thing called sarcopenia, which is the loss of muscle due to age.
So help me understand that though, because why would I need muscle mass, so much muscle mass, even when I'm older?
So again, we come back to why. So the reasons I listed above, for example, in terms of injury prevention, right? Because it's such an important thing, especially for you, if you understand how our parents are right now, right? A lot of them are not very active. So they have hobbies or activities that are like retiring, and then they are not preserving their muscle mass or building it at all. So they're very prone to falling and hurting themselves in situations. And even if they do fall sick and need surgery, actually one of the key indicators for surviving a major illness, for example, cancer or a major intervention in the hospital, actually is the amount of muscle mass in their body that increases their rate of survival. So this is a very important factor in preserving it. And I'm not telling everyone to go be a bodybuilder right now to gain amass large amounts of muscle mass, because that's not for everyone. But we are looking at having some form of physical activity, sustainable physical activity, not the kind that you do once in a while with your good friends kind, and so that you can preserve as much as possible to increase your odds of having a better quality of life.
Okay. Yeah. There's some questions about the kinds of training. So you mentioned earlier you were a cardio monster.
Yeah.
And then later on you did strength training.
Yeah.
To those who are not really in the know, what's the difference? And why cannot just do cardio? Like I walk every day. I walk my son to school every day. Why is it not enough?
Yeah. So in generally there are two I would say ends of the spectrum in terms of working out. So you have the cardio kind of workout, which is your usual running. Every Singaporean son will know about running because if they've been to the army.
2.4.
Yeah, 2.4. Yeah.
My worst station, by the way. Still can't run here.
Yeah. So running is something is very common. So every time people think of fat loss, they think about running, which is not true lah. So what running is really very horrible for fat loss.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We can get back into that.
We will get back into that. Yeah.
Later. Yeah. So for cardio, right, it's actually to work your heart and the efficiency of doing types of movements that require endurance. So if you notice how elite runners are, the long distance runners are all very skinny.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So they don't have a lot of muscle mass because they are down right to the very efficiency of moving across long distances. So their body type is in that way. So I would say they are very heart healthy, but if you're talking about longevity in their joints or in terms of their enough muscle mass to survive what I said earlier, I would say it's not optimal.
Oh.
So when we're talking about strength training, we're talking about shorter, intense bursts to stimulate the muscle for growth.
Okay.
Yeah, and we have everything in between. For example, you as a boulderer, there's lots of endurance involved.
Yes.
There's also lots of strength involved, which we have this nice boulder arms over here from Josiah.
Okay, now I'm regretting when you said that. But
yeah. So if you're talking about longevity, you probably need to do both. If your focus is really longevity, you might want to focus your efforts a little bit more on building up muscles and then spend some time doing cardio. But now we go back to, we'll talk about barriers probably later in terms of barriers of entry. But for example, the WHO, right, recommends 150 minutes of moderate intensity cardio a week.
150 minutes
per week.
of cardio activity.
You can spread it across the week.
Okay.
And then 2 days of resistance training, basically movements that challenge your muscles.
Okay.
So
weights and everything.
Yeah. So they call it the minimum. So moderate intensity will be like brisk walking, will be something like that.
That's for cardio.
Yes.
Okay.
So, but I feel that this can be quite discouraging for people. Yeah, to imagine, so now from a couch potato, I have to think about like to spend 150 minutes and then another 2 hours in the gym per week. That's quite a lot of time, right? Yeah. What I tell my clients and my friends is don't think about all this minimum, because it sometimes feels like all or nothing. Like if I'm not doing this minimum that the health organization says, then I'm not making my time worth it. So they stop. Without taking a step forward, they do stop. So to me, I think it's also clear that something is infinitely better than nothing. So start off somewhere. You can have a weekend where you spend 10, 15, 20 minutes, just go for a brisk walk somewhere out there.
So just start.
Yes.
Just start. Just do it.
Yeah.
Which is from a brand.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not sponsored, but well, I mean, if any brands want to,
I have this... I have this client recently. She came to me for a trial to do, and I can tell that she has like lots of questions, like what's the optimal way to go about doing this thing, and the goal I have, what kind of movement, what kind of exercises I need, how many times do I need to do per week. But I would say it's great that you have all these questions, but how about you start somewhere first? Okay. So I came across this very apt graphic. It came from this account called Growth by Visuals. So for the image, we have 2 circles. The first one is kind of incomplete. It feels like a scribble by probably a 3 or 4 year old. And they try to color a circle, and then the colors sort of seep out of the lines involved. The second circle is perfect, like it's perfectly round and it's colored so well. So the first text says, just make it exist first. You can make it good later. So I think this applies to exercising, and it applies a lot to our parenting life as well. So we try not to think about perfection or where we need to be.
So now you think about the optimum first.
Yes. Okay. I'll bring it to the context of us as parents first. Yes. Yeah. So when I mentioned earlier about making it intentional. So things like I personally do is like even if it's a public holiday and my kids are home with me, like I would actually bring them to the gym first if it's a workout day. I mean, if you're out there doing cardio, you maybe can have your kids cycle while you run, right, to make the pace right, something like that. And in terms of other ways to have it as a form of habit, for example, I know of people who would say every time they see stairs, they would choose to take it instead of the escalator.
Oh, wow.
Instead of taking the lift. Yeah. So it's always this conscious choice to move more.
Okay.
So little habits like that can form over time, and to help you actually, keep your metabolism going and probably start something else once you have adapted to that level of stress. Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about running and weight loss.
Yeah. Our favorite topic. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I am kind of encouraged that running is not the only way to have weight loss. Keep fit.
Yes.
So if I were to start my weight loss journey or my keep fit, healthy journey, I don't have to start with running. Why?
Okay. Again, I would say cardio is important, some form, but in terms of specifically to weight loss, why is it not important? It's because I'm talking about, let's say if you are sedentary and then you just want to choose one discipline to go into. Yeah, and you want to have weight loss. So there's this thing called CICO, which is calories in, calories out. I think you are familiar with that term. So technically, you cannot do 1 second of exercise. As long as you manage your calories, your weight will drop.
Right.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the body again is all about being efficient.
Okay.
So if you do just based off dieting in terms of eating less calories every day, you will see your weight drop, but it's actually your fat along with your muscle mass that is dropping.
Okay, which isn't ideal.
Yeah, because remember, we do want to preserve as much skeletal muscle mass as possible. So we are actually losing both the fat and the muscle mass. Of course, a lot of times I do realize that people with very large body mass actually do carry a lot of muscle mass as well.
Okay.
In fact, they are more than optimal in many of the clients that I've seen.
Okay.
So technically, they could just do calories restriction and then they will get an optimal weight, but they will soon see that their muscle mass will get lost along the way. So we need stimulation to maintain the muscle mass, and then calorie restriction to help you lose your body fat over time. So I never like to see it as losing weight. Losing weight is too broad a term.
Well, there's a saying that muscles are made in the gym.
Yep.
But abs are made in the kitchen.
Yes.
So meaning that, it's about what you eat. And you mentioned earlier about calories in, calories out. Well, I kind of know what that means.
Yep.
But to our viewers who may not be the most familiar with that, could you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah. So everyone has there are calculators out there that help you figure out what your daily expenditure is like. So for example, but everyone is different. So the calculator can only guess based on your age and your activity level. And everyone is not a robot. So even if they say you're burning 2,000 calories a day, you're not burning exactly 2,000 calories a day. It depends on your output for the day, and it depends on the amount of activities that you've got. So you figure that out, and then you do a deficit in order to lower your body fat. In order to find out the body fat.
Okay.
So right now, even you can do this thing called a body composition scale, which is very freely available everywhere. What it does is this thing called bioelectrical impedance. So basically, it sends an electrical pulse through your feet. So again, it's not precise, but if you measure more over time, you can have a rough idea of how much fat level do you have.
Okay.
So now let's come to what's optimal. So for men, for people in general, it depends on age. But in general, for adults like us, the optimum body fat percentage is about 25%.
Okay.
For men, for women, it's probably closer to 28 or 30.
Okay.
Yeah. So anything higher, you can be classified as having too much body fat in your body, which can affect your hormones, which can affect your insulin sensitivity. So we would want to actually lower that to a closer number. Too low isn't very good also. So there are athletes who lower to below 6% for men, and then even 8% or 10%, they look great, but they don't feel good.
Okay.
So you guys can go check out your body fat percentage and then have a plan to work towards something lower. Yeah,
Okay.
through dieting. And when I say diet, some people say, I don't like to diet, right? But technically, to me, whatever you're eating now is a diet. It's just not named. You know what I mean? I'm someone who doesn't like to make changes to a person's diet in such a big way that it doesn't become sustainable.
Yeah.
To me, it's all about sustainability, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people actually have successful weight losses before.
Yeah.
But it always goes back up.
Right.
So the trick isn't of knowing how to get there, it's how to stay there.
Okay.
Right. So to me, that's the most important. So the most basic form I can say is look at your own diet. If you think about just calorie restriction, you can lose your weight just by eating less of whatever you're eating right now. Yeah. So that's one way to get closer to a six-pack. Yeah.
Okay. So your calories in, what you can eat,
yes,
must be lower than
what you
use, which is calories out.
Yes.
I see.
Yeah.
How do you measure calories in and out? So calorie counting sounds very painful.
I would say to fully optimize your process, to make sure you're not cheating. Because one thing that I do see a pattern in terms of working with people is that there's always this thing, I want to lose weight. Oh, but the thing is, I don't really eat a lot, right? So they're saying, I don't really eat a lot. Like one day I have maybe 2 meals, sometimes 3 meals, and that's it. Then I would say, okay, it's fine that you think that way. So let's start counting your calories. Yeah. And then reality does hit them because they don't realize how much they're eating.
Right.
Or they don't realize whatever they're eating actually brought them to where they are today.
Right.
In terms of on their weighing scale. So to actually get those feelings to be put into numbers is what calorie counting is. So once you're truthful in terms of calorie counting, you would actually see how much you have been consuming and how much less you need to be consuming to get to where you want to be.
Right.
So that's the beauty of calorie counting.
The inverse is true also, because I also know that people who are dieting so much, they want to get like to a very, very low fat percentage. But as you mentioned, sometimes under eating is unhealthy as well.
Yes, it is.
And you meet all sorts of problems. So I really like what you mentioned about taking a very scientific based approach. I personally calorie count. I used to not do it. And I thought I just work out and I eat less already, but I really felt like crap. Until I started and I realized that I was under eating. And as a result of that, actually, I boulder and everything, but actually I don't have enough energy to keep up with what I want to do at the boulder gym.
Maybe we take one step back even. Let's say if you are really, really against calorie counting. Right. Yeah, it's like, so you want to eat by few and say, I'll just eat less. So try it out. Just have whatever you're eating and then have less. For example, instead of a normal portion, like for me, I eat out almost all the time. So just ask for less rice, for example, less noodles.
So scale down slowly. Yeah. Also not like I skip entire meal.
Yes.
Okay.
And I might digress, but carbs is not the enemy.
Carbs is not enemy.
Yeah, carbs is not enemy. Because a lot of people think also like the fastest way to get there is to go keto or go very low on carbs. But unfortunately, you have to realize that carbs is the source of energy for our brain and our organs to work, and for overall energy levels and clarity of mind as well. Yeah, so please don't deny me that donut because I need to deal with my 5-year-old later. Yeah. So now we go back again to calorie counting. I would usually, anyone who approaches me, I would say, if you just want to do it on your own, this is not sponsored, by the way. So it's MyFitnessPal. So there's a free version. And what's great about MyFitnessPal is that the database for local food, it's quite good. Okay, yeah. So you can almost find anything there.
So I type in mee pok, then you can tell me how many calories.
Yeah, then they see siu dai also. So yeah, there you can probably find something.
MyFitnessPal.
Yeah, MyFitnessPal. So that will be the base entry level of calorie counting that you can find. So it doesn't have to be precise in terms of how many calories. For example, if you eat chicken rice from this hawker stall here and somewhere else further, they are not going to serve the same amount. Portion. Yeah, right. The one you like more probably has more chicken, or the other one has
more sauce, less sauce.
Yeah, yummier rice because they put more fat in it, right? Okay. Yeah. But what we want to do is, it's not going to be precise, but it's going to be accurate over time. It's all about having the consistent login and everything. Something that we might have spoken offline before is using AI to figure out food.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
So what was it that you was telling me about this app?
Ventricle.
Yeah, Ventricle.
Yeah, which is a local app, by the way.
Yes, it is.
I've kind of like tried it and played around it. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
You can actually take a photo of your food.
Yeah.
Again, it's just a mere photo. Sometimes your chicken is hidden under a few strands of vegetables,
Yeah.
So you gotta try to figure things out a little bit.
Yeah.
So I do like the fact that MyFitnessPal, you just, input your dish and then it gives you your calories.
Yep.
And then you kind of get a sense of, okay, chicken rice roughly is between what range?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when you take a picture, you also kind of like know what's accurate, what's not. Ventricle does kind of cater towards a Singaporean crowd, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, these are not endorsements.
Yeah.
These are really just mentions of what we've tried. Calorie counting also has to do with macros.
Yes.
So macronutrients, which from my understanding, it's protein, carbs, carbohydrates,
Yes.
and fats.
Correct.
So everything you eat, there are these three values. How much protein is in this chicken rice, how much carbs is in this chicken rice, and how much fat.
Yes.
I really remember there was once in the chat where she said that, actually, McGriddles.
Yes.
McGriddles is, the macros is actually pretty good. Because there's a decent amount of protein, decent amount of carbs for functioning.
Yep.
And then fat, might be on the high side and all that, but you just have to weigh it between what you eat later on. What would you say about macros? Yeah, because now we are going deeper already. It's like, wow, so many things to think about.
Yeah. So we have to come back to this point where no calorie is equal. Okay. Right. So I could eat McDonald's all week, all month, all year, and still be able to lose weight. Because eventually it's calories in, calories out now. As long as I keep to the calorie restriction, I'm eating less than that I burn, I would still lose weight, but it wouldn't make me healthy, right? Because a lot of, I'm great that you brought up that, because a lot of processed foods are macro-friendly. Okay. I would say McDonald's is actually very macro-friendly, because in terms of their mains, right, usually if you go look it up, they are quite even. So you have a third of it is protein, a third of it is fat, a third of it is in protein. Fat, carbs, and protein. Yeah. So it's split pretty evenly. So I would say it's very balanced, but again, you're lacking a bit of the micronutrients. So in terms of your potassium, your vitamins, and stuff like that. But let's not go into it. Let's stick to macros. So that's actually, 1 gram of carbs equals to 4 calories. Okay. So every gram of carb that consumes about 4 calories. For protein, it's also 4. For fat, it's 9.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah. So technically, if you want to eat less calories, you would want to eat less fat. That would be the faster way, because remember I said carbs are important. Fat is also important for hormonal health, but a lot of us eat unhealthy fat in terms of fried food and everything. So carbs are, again, we've mentioned this before, very important for our energy levels, our brain health. Of course, people would say, like, what kind of carbs do I consume? So people would say, okay, take complex carbs, right? So
what's that?
Complex carbs would be like things like brown rice, oats, rolled oats, not the instant ones, because instant ones are quick to digest. So anything of a lower GI, which means it burns much more slowly in your system.
I see.
Yeah. So instead of seeing like a large sugar rush in your blood, you would see a more steady increase to keep the levels high throughout, and you won't get hungry that easily.
Okay.
But there is a space for simple carbs as well. For example, if you need to go work out in 30 minutes or 45 minutes, so just have a simple carb like banana, for example.
Okay.
Yeah, white bread with a little bit of filling, less fat, so that it gets absorbed really fast.
Quickly, then I can use.
Yeah, you can use the energy.
Okay.
Then you can always cater more complex carbs after your workout with protein as well. So now we go down to fat. So fat is actually essential for hormonal health. Yeah. Right. So we are looking at more of the unsaturated one. So it's unsaturated fat, things like mono unsaturated fats. So that would be things like your olive oil. Yeah. And then we have polyunsaturated fats, which is things like your fatty fish, which is like salmon and stuff like that. So all this fat is essential, but we don't usually eat enough of those. Instead, we consume a lot of trans fats. Okay. Yeah, in terms of like the McGriddles that you say, in terms of plant oils and stuff that we used to fry things. Yeah. So that's one thing. Now we come to the holy grail of muscle building, which is protein, right? So protein is essential because it's the only element that gets broken down into these things we call amino acids in your bloodstream. And then your body extracts these 9 essential amino acids to build muscles. So one thing great not just the fuel for building muscles and maintaining muscles. One thing good about protein, it also has this thing called a high thermic effect on food.
Okay.
Meaning, if you consume more protein, your body actually needs more energy to process them.
Right.
So it became something more satiable. So whenever you have a meal with more protein, you get full easily.
Right.
Right. It's not just fat that satiates you.
Right.
So protein also does, and it also keeps your body metabolism going on for much longer.
So I don't get hungry too soon as well.
Yes. So that's one thing great about protein. So most people in Singapore, I would say, even Asian diet, we don't consume enough protein. I know because I'm out there measuring. And so hawker food, restaurant food, usually we are very high carb kind of society.
My chicken rice, the rice is like so much, the chicken is like few grades.
Yeah, correct. So I feel that the golden word to say is always 少饭少面加肉. Then you will get a profile that is actually better.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something for people to consider for macros.
Since we're on this topic, it sounds very expensive.
Yeah.
So any like tips when it comes to trying to meet the protein macros without breaking the bank?
Sure.
Because then like that, might as well be unhealthy.
Before I offer ways to keep the costs down, right? I think people need to sort of change their mindset about how all these things work. Like in terms of like getting even going to a gym, it's expensive, right? Finding a PT, it's even more expensive. I know I charge a lot. So so the thing is, it's you don't think of it as a cost, think of it as an investment. Right, towards your health.
Okay.
But I understand that, no matter how like you are really tight on the wallet, no matter how much of an investment you think it is, it's still gonna hurt your wallet, right? Yeah. So let's talk about more cheaper ways to get your protein in, right? So if you're very low on costs, you have to meal prep, right? Okay. So things that are very bang for buck in terms of protein is chicken breast, right? Superbly plain, but yeah. And if you cook them wrongly, well, you're just chewing on rubber and cardboard. And the great thing about meal prep is that you can cool them down sufficiently, you can freeze them. So it takes a lot out of sometimes we have this thing called what's that, decision fatigue, right?
Yeah.
What to eat.
Yeah.
You're sitting, imagine you're already counting calories. You have followed us this far and then you are counting calories. You're sitting there, oh no, I only have like 400 calories left for the day. Like what do I eat? What can I eat and to have enough protein? Then you just go home, take out that frozen thing and microwave it. And then you have your meal there with the exact amount of macros that you already planned for. So meal prep is something that I would suggest for people who are low on budget and worry about decision fatigue and just want to know that, you have something that you know and trust in your freezer waiting for you, just needs a microwave. Yeah. If you do have to put your Heinz ketchup in just for that kind of taste, just do it. 10 grams or 15 grams, just enough to add some flavor, wouldn't hurt you that much in the long run. You're already eating rubbery chicken breast. I mean,
you should enjoy while you
just enjoy that rubbery chicken breast.
I want to go back to really what you mentioned, that fats are carb and carbs are not always the enemy.
Yes,
it's about knowing how much to in. So if there's any listener who's thinking about, okay, I just need to eat protein, I cannot eat carbs at all, it's totally not true. And that's great. That's really great to hear. Any other nuggets of wisdom you have?
The thing is, I think everyone needs to understand that whatever reasons you have for not exercising is valid. I mean,
wow.
Yeah. Because I know I had times where I'm so tired from taking care of my children.
Yeah.
Why would you want to even think about going out there to exercise and sweat it out? You're just looking forward. For me, I'll be looking forward just to the next nap. But I think you got to take a step. It's a bit like a chicken or the egg kind of approach. So you do need the exercise for you to feel better, and yet you don't have the energy to start, right? But I would say you got to throw that aside and just do it. We all do want to be more present for our kids. And it's undeniable that exercise does help us work towards better self, better parents in turn. Yeah.
Great. I really like how you mentioned that, because that kind of brings us to a close as well. For me personally, exercise is not so much about looking fit or, gaining muscles, so the one thing I know is that when my kids see me exercising, they know that, okay, my dad is doing that. So it's probably something that I should think about doing as well. And in fact, my youngest sometimes asks to come along, just like your kids, right? Because they see the value.
Yep.
And I do feel a bit happier. I feel more present with them, which is why I took this step to be a stay-home dad in the first place. So it doesn't make sense if I become a stay-home dad and then I become a couch potato. Sure, I do all the other responsibilities, but I just can't be there because I'm just tired all the time. That was my reason lah. And so just want to maybe encourage the parents out there to really consider investing, like you mentioned, in their health, not just for themselves, but also for their family members as well. Yeah. Well, Kris, thank you so much for spending your time here again. You could have been in a gym right now, but you have chosen to talk to us about health as well as what we can do when it comes to training. If anyone has any questions, is it okay that if they hit you up, how might they ask you?
Actually, I do entertain. People worry that that a lot of PTs or even myself, they worry that I'll be a hard sell kind of thing. Let's buy my package. Yeah, that's the only way to gain you physical improvements and everything. But I'm not the kind of person. So just approach me and I will chat to you about where you are in life and where you need to get there. So whether or not I make money out of it, of course, it's a bonus. But I think I just want to help people. So on IG, I have 2 accounts. One is the parenting one. You can approach either one. So for myself, it's just an okay dad, or my coaching one is just an okay coach.
All right. Yeah. Thank you once again, Kris.
Thank you, Josiah.
Here at The Ordinary Dad, we believe in the power of stories, and this podcast is just one of the different ways we're hoping to encourage other dads on their individual journeys as parents. Till then, while parenting is anything but ordinary, the love, care, and commitment of ordinary dads do wonders to the sometimes mundane and perplexing parenting journey. You're not alone, ordinary dads. See you soon.